Right, good morning everybody. Welcome to the illustrious Emirates Stadium, home of Arsenal FC and the future stage for some very, very big rugby league games in the Rugby League World Cup in 2021. My name is Martin Vickers, General Manager, Toronto Wolfpack, UK. In terms of format today, as you can see, we've got a very busy day in front of us. Sonny will have to leave straight to our main broadcaster, Sky, for he's doing some extensive work this afternoon, so we'll have a challenging kind of agenda for today. In terms of format, after some brief introductions from our chairman, Bob Hunter, to my right, and Brian McDermott, our coach, and some general intro from Sonny, we'll have James Peacock from Super League managing questions from the floor. We'll have some very limited time then for one-to-ones, and we're going to start with those one-to-ones with the broadcast media, which will be just to our right at the back. And then we have talked about a possible press huddle with the various UK media that we have, because we can set out and do one-to-ones, but there may be more value in getting longer time with a bigger cluster of press, which we'll do immediately after the broadcast session. In terms of today, we want to introduce you to not only Bob, who's come across from Canada, and also our coach, but the main agenda for today is meeting a true great, a great of all time a spokesperson. And I say spokesperson for a reason. This is someone who's not just excelled in one sport, but across 4 disciplines. It's interesting talking with Sonny and his team. You know, they talk about some facts about Sonny that probably aren't the things you find out on Wikipedia, but actually demonstrate the kind of gravity of the things he has accomplished in sport. He's been New Zealand's heavyweight champion, and also the WBA international champion, with a boxing record of 7-0. As a rugby union player, he's won championships with Canterbury and with the Chiefs. He's won 2 World Cups. And of that elite band of people who've won 2 World Cups, if you look behind the facts, you will see that Sonny has the greatest win ratio of all of that elite team. He's won 2 NRL Grand Finals. In 2004 with Canterbury, where still to this day is the youngest player ever to win a Grand Final. In 2013 he won the Grand Final with the Roosters, and that year he was acclaimed as the International World Player of the Year. In 2016, Sonny tried his hand at another sport, another discipline, Sevens rugby, and he represented his country in the Rio Olympics in the rugby sevens. Today we're going to meet a pioneer whose greatest quality is he's a man who's not afraid of challenging the boundaries of what a sportsman can or can't do. May I proudly welcome on stage Sonny Bell Williams.
I'll do a round of applause.
Well, welcome everybody. What an exciting day, what an exciting opportunity for us. Greetings from David Argyle, our owner. David could not unfortunately make it today, but David was a very, very active participant with Martin Vickers in building the relationship that it's the epitome of where we are today. To say it's a monumental day for our franchise is clearly an understatement. Winning the grand final of the championship this year was just a very, very spectacular achievement, and just a wonderful, wonderful thing for our team and our entire organization. Sitting here today with one of the world's best rugby players is that second achievement. Welcome, Sonny. Coder and the rest of your organization, welcome. We are so excited to have you join the organization. A great team and a great organization, and one which we're extremely excited about. Welcome to Toronto. a very, very busy sports market. 6 million people. We're sure you're going to enjoy your time there. For your family, for your kids, and for the entire Sonnyville organization, we are waiting with bated breath until your arrival. And I can tell you our media is equally as excited. I've been quoted as comparing Sonny to LeBron James. I'm not sure how big LeBron is in New Zealand and Australia, but he certainly is big in North America. And we think that arrival of Sonnyville to our city and our organization is equally in the same status. Couple of thank yous from our organization to the RFL for all their support in our 3 years of existence. Now with Super League, Robert Elston and his team and his staff were very supportive with today's event. We thank them. We're now part of that Super League family, and we're quite excited as an organization to be at that level. Lastly, but not least, thank you to our staff who are here today from Canada, to Martin, who is always the drill sergeant to get things done. It's been wonderful. I'm now pleased to turn it over to Brian McDermott.
Thank you, Bob. I'll also say welcome, Sonny. Sonny came to the training camp yesterday, met all the players, met the club, the UK-based players and staff. So we've signed on clearly a world-class international player, but I'm also conscious as coach that we've signed on what I keep calling a brand. The guy's a brand and he's been building that brand up for a number of years. So I think the thing from me I'd like to stress to the room, first and foremost, is I was really keen to get the player. We as a club are going to use that brand. I'm going to utilise that brand for sure. And in terms of making the profile of Toronto Wolfpack and ultimately Super League bigger, it's going to help that. But I was just keen to stress that I'm really keen and pleased we've signed a brilliant player. And of all the things that Martin Vickers read out there, it's mind-boggling. But the present day player is a bloke we signed, and that's why I flew out to Japan to ask him a few pertinent questions. We had a couple of hours there over dinner where we both verbally machine-gunned each other with questions about who are we, what are we doing, what our intentions are, what our philosophies are. And I think we both knew that night that this could be good. I don't know if it was a done deal from Sonny's point of view, but I went out there certainly with an opinion that if this doesn't go well, he's not signing with us. But at the same time, I didn't go out there and tell him any lies either. I think they all might boil down to one question, which is, are you coming to be a player, a rugby league player, which on every level, what that means. Some of the good stuff, some of the headline grabbing stuff, but also some of the ugly stuff and some of the hard stuff that you've got to go through. And I don't think it's appropriate to tell you what his answer specifically was, but it more than assured me that he's there to earn the respect. I'll tell you this, he said to me, I need to earn the respect of everybody at the club before I start being what you think you've signed on. So yeah, we're really pleased, excited. He's going on a journey with us, and I'll finish off this little bit by saying by the final third of this year, you're going to see the best of Sonny Bill Williams. My aim isn't to get the best of Sonny Bill Williams in round one. His transition from rugby union is going to take some time. So by the final third of 2020 season, you'll see the best of Sonny Bill Williams. And I think it's up to you, Sonny, isn't it?
All round one.
Thank you. We'll open up to the floor to questions. We'll have a microphone coming round in the crowd. So if you put your hand up, we'll get around as many as we can. We'll start with Sky Sports. Thank you.
Sonny, welcome back. Was it always part of your plan to return to league post-World Cup?
Firstly, thank you to everyone being here. Brian and Bob, appreciate the kind words. But yeah, to answer your question, not necessarily. I think for myself, what's done me well throughout my career is just trying to be where my feet are. And it's been a whirlwind. This deal came to fruition in quite a short amount space of time, but like Brian said, it was awesome sitting down with him. It was supposed to probably be 30-40 minute catch up. We sat there for over 2 hours just picking each other's brains, and yes, I'm really grateful and blessed for this opportunity, but I understand what I'm coming into. And as a sportsman, what better, I guess, pressure environment would you want to test yourself? So it's great what Toronto have done, where they're based and what they're trying to achieve. I had an awesome talk with David on the phone for about an hour, and he spoke to me about his aspirations off the field. So it all kind of lined up, and for me, as a man of faith, I just really believe that it's just meant to be. So my wife was probably a little bit upset that she's going to have to move all 4 young ones over here, but she's my ride or die. And after talking with her, after talking with Brian and David, it's just, I'm really excited about what lays ahead.
You say that this all happened very quickly. Now, I remember first hearing your name linked with this club, I think it was February when we first spoke about it. When did Toronto first make contact with you?
In my understanding, is pretty much just around the World Cup time. That's when I was first made aware of it. Obviously the lads in the teams that I was playing for were, giving me stick, or is this true? But I hadn't heard anything from the club. And then once it all came about, it came to fruition really quickly. But from myself, I just go back to the conversations that I had with Brian. For me, yes, I'm a sportsman, but I need to have that purpose, something that I really believe in, and just his philosophy and how he wants to play the game. I feel like the way that I strive to play the game, I could be really suited to their style of play. So us as Toronto players, I think we're going out there to turn some heads, but then also the amount of support that the lads have back in Toronto, it sounds crazy. So it's a journey. There's a bit of pressure there, but it's so exciting.
Brian said that you met some of your teammates yesterday. Have you had much of an opportunity to watch the Wolfpack in action?
Yeah, well, during that World Cup time, once I found out that they were interested, and after I spoke to Brian in particular, I started watching a few of the games. And I could tell straight away their style of play is different to a lot of other teams. And then, obviously, I made contact with a couple of the players, the Australian players, and from all accounts, yes, it's different. There's challenges, but from where I come in my journey, there's always been challenges. So it's nothing that I'm not used to. But overall, what they're trying to achieve on and off the field is something special. And instead of looking at, I guess, the challenge as, well, what if I fail? It's what if we succeed, and what if I'm part of it? North America, if that door opens, the amount of opportunities for young players coming through would be amazing, and for themselves and their families. To say that I've been a part of that would be something special.
Was it always Toronto, or was there interest from other clubs?
Well, to be honest, I was, before the World Cup, I was intending on staying in New Zealand for maybe 1 more year, and then
Playing Union?
Yes, yeah. But once this opportunity came about, and then obviously talking with David and Brian, it was just a, opportunity that I couldn't turn down. And now we're here, talking to you other people.
We certainly are. Sonny, so as far as you know, there was no interest from the NRL?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Going into that World Cup, I told my manager, I said, look, yeah, you can talk, but for myself, I would be, wouldn't be doing myself justice or the black jersey justice if I was thinking about what's happening next. I really try and live by that. Drop your TV, because I really try and live by that mantra of being where my feet are, and that's what I was trying to do. And then, I'll be honest, when we got knocked out after England, that's when we started having these conversations. Yeah.
Ryan, I mentioned this before, Sonny has been linked with this club for the best part of 2019. When we first spoke about it, could you ever imagine that you would be sitting here today next to Sonny Bill?
At the start of the year, probably not. But through the year, not really based on discipline, not really based on any significant incident. But I just thought, I just knew this club's capable of something special. Talking to David about what his plans are and how he'd like to do things differently and how he'd like to just break the norm of rugby league in England, in the UK, in the Northern Hemisphere. So yeah, I just thought Sonny could be part of that. Our people were talking to Sonny's people. I don't think, certainly I never talked to Sonny, and I never spoke to Sonny's people organisation, but certainly in early 2019. And the bit that it wasn't a no, that's what I said. A week after the grand final, we flew back to England to launch David's health product, Rugby Strength. And in the launch of that, a few of the journalists asked, what about recruitment? Where's your recruitment at? I said, oh, we've got some names on the list, and that's all it was. And I mentioned Sonny's name. And they said, is he coming? I said, well, I can't tell you he's coming, but it's not a no. Our people are talking to his people, and it wasn't a straight no. And whenever you're talking in recruitment terms and the answer back isn't a no, that's good. Sometimes you just get a complete shutdown. Nah, he's not coming there, so you just move on. So it wasn't a no. But like all you journalists do, the headlines the following week was Sonny Bill Williams is coming to Toronto, which wasn't quite the truth. But I think what happened, it kicked everybody up the backside. So it certainly kicked up the backside and said, well, if we're serious about this, let's go. And that's where Sonny's right. This happened really quickly. From that moment on, this has happened pretty quick.
Finally from me, can you just try and sum up exactly what this man sitting next to you will do for the game in this part of the world?
It's a long-winded answer to this, and I'll try to keep it really short. So I was talking to David Argyle mid-season about various things about the potential of the club. We have had some difficulties this year. We're 3 years old. Okay, at the time we were 2.5 years old, we were encountering some difficulties, and I had a conversation with David and said, where's it at? Are we okay? What's the future of the club look like? He says, no, everything's good, we just encountered 1 or 2 difficulties. He says, I'm telling you, I get phone calls all the time from major organisations who want to be part of us. So I'm listening to him, and David can speak, in big terms. So I'm just, yeah, okay. And he had a phone call of a very high profile NRL rugby league club, said, would you buy into our shares? Would you buy part of our club? So I'm not going to mention who it was, that would be inappropriate. So he told me this story, and he explained it 2 or 3 times, and I'm saying, and I had to stop and say, David, can I just ask you, why on earth would anybody ring you up, certainly an NRL club, a leading NRL club, and ask you to buy shares in them? He said, because when they're asleep, they want our people to be looking on their website and looking at those and have eyeballs on their club, and when we're asleep, all their people will be doing the same with us. And it's all about eyeballs on, 24 hours, eyeballs on your products. I says, no, I understand why they do it, but rather than you. He simply said this, and this is, broadly speaking, how Sonny will affect it. He said, because our team name starts with Toronto. And I just got it straight away. Now, Leeds is a big club, Wigan and St Helens are a big club, Warrington are a big club, Hull are a big club in Super League. And if anything happens for them, it's big in Super League. It's not big around the world, though. And I don't think any multi-millionaire, billionaire, any major investor, anybody who wants to get involved in the club on a significant level, or anybody who wants to get involved in the sport on a significant level, is going to get excited because Salford win the grand final, or Featherstone would maybe win the grand final with you at the division below. Within the sport, that is brilliant. I'm not trying to trivialise what they did last year, both Salford and Featherstone, who got close to the grand final beating us. On a coaching level, go look at that. But that's not exciting to many people around the world. So what Toronto are doing is making people around the world take note of Super League. So Sonny, there was 1 billion eyeballs on the semi-final of the World Cup and the final. And I don't know what the figures would be, but how many people do you think from the 1 billion eyeballs are now clicking on one of the biggest rugby union players in the world and where he's gone to? They're going to follow where he's gone to and take interest. Now, they may have no interest whatsoever to start with in Super League or the Wolfpack, but they are now going to do that. So I completely get why David wants to sign Sonny Bill Williams. And I'll probably put words in David's mouth. If Sonny's an okay player, he'd be happy with that. But he's going to use, and he's paying for Sonny's brand. And everybody's cool with that. It works. It absolutely works. That's why I went out to Japan, because I get all that as well. But I need to make sure he's a player as well, and he wants to be one of the best players in the league as well. Which, compensate, so I think that's going to be the case. So this is not just a player for the Wolfpack. It could affect, and if Super League want to get on board with this and really get behind it and really sit back and have a look at the rules and regulations that they put in place that prevent overseas players and the best players in the world remaining and staying and coming to Super League. There's been so many rules over the last 10, 15 years that have prevented Sam Berger from staying in Super League and James Graham from staying in Super League. We could have had Jonathan Thurston in Super League, we could have had Darren Lockyer in Super League, but the rules that they put in place, and the reason they put these rules in place is because the slowest clubs can't keep up. And there's an adage within the game, within sport, certainly rugby league, was you go as fast as your slowest man. When I started playing in 1066, that's what you used to say in defensive drills, go as fast as your slowest man. Some people worked out, no, that's bullshit. You don't go as fast as your slowest man, you go as fast as the group can go, and if the slowest man can't keep up, well, you leave him behind. Super League's been adopting rules for 20 years to go as fast as the slowest man. And it hasn't gone as fast as the fastest clubs. And Wigan, listen, Super League this year was crazy. There was the whole of Super League, other than St Helens, numerically, were closer to the bottom of the competition than they were to Saints. There was a period where Warrington fell to second, and in league points they were closer to the bottom than they were in second. I think that just epitomises where Super League's at. So to break this cycle and to get clubs and encourage clubs and relax some rules about who we can sign on. We can only sign on so many overseas players because there's a quota in place, which means we promote. The aim is to promote English lads. Good, we've done that. We keep doing that. I don't think anyone's going to stop doing that. But this quota, we can only sign on so many players. We need to have a look at that law. And the amount of money we can spend on Super League wages is just ridiculous compared to where rugby union was. Both sports turned full time around the same time. And where rugby union was at the time compared to rugby league, compared to where they are now, is ridiculous. And I think all these laws need to be looked at.
Sonny, Stephen Drill from the Daily Telegraph in Sydney. How you going?
Yeah.
There's a fair few people back in Australia who are pretty jealous of the gentleman sitting next to you. They were hoping to get your signature for some NRL clubs. Is this the end of the line for you in Australia? Could you potentially ever go back to play there?
I'm happy here, and I'll be 36 once this contract finishes, so I don't think I'll be going back to Australia anytime soon. My wife might love Toronto, we might end up living there, so who knows. At the start of this year, I'd never expect to be sitting here right now, but we're here, riding that wave, and it's so exciting. And fly over just for this?
No, I'll live here on base here. They almost did send someone over. And there is a fight back in Australia later in the week, Paul Gallen and Barry Hall. Now, there's suggestions that you had in your contract that you will still be able to fight Gallen if he wins.
I've had in my contract throughout my career that clause, so whether it be Paul Gallen or Barry Hall or whoever, time will tell, but I'm pretty interested in that fight. There's been a lot of talk between both camps, but I'm not sure. Time will tell. Barry's been out of the ring for since he was 18, and he's 42 now. Gal's been fighting consistently for the last few years, so they're probably given the advantage. But boxing's a fickle sport, so we'll see how it goes.
And how's your body feeling now? That's set towards the end of the 2020 season. How are you feeling yourself?
Yeah, I'm really good. So I'll go back from here. I'll actually come over to your hometown, Australia, and do a training block for about 4 or 5 weeks, and just get the body ready physically to meet the demands of what I expect over here. When it comes to, I guess, skill-wise and knowing the game, I grew up playing the game, so I'm confident in that aspect. But physically, I've got a little bit to go. But right now, right here, I'm in a good space.
Assalamu alaikum, Sonny.
Walaikum salam.
Shamoon Hafez from BBC Sport. When you signed, you said you're not here for a holiday. Why did you feel you needed to clarify that?
Well, I think, for me, wherever I I go, I know there's a lot of baggage and a lot of headline grabbing things that come along with it, but I just want my teammates and the organisation that I come to know that that's my intention. You know, I know that if I don't perform on the field, there's nothing else to it, you know, and that's how I see it. So when I say I'm coming to work, it means, you know, I'm coming to do, I'm coming to do the things that people don't see behind closed doors, to prepare the best I can to earn that right to be successful on the field. So that's probably what that statement was about.
And what do you think the club can achieve next season?
Brother, we have a really strong squad. You know, I think yes, the boys played second division last year, but they had a Super League squad. So you know, hopefully we can continue that winning formula this year. But the thing that I've learned throughout my career is that yes, there's stumbles and there's losses. We won't win every game, but in those losses and those stumbles, they're not failures if you take the learnings from them. Yes, that sounds a bit cliche, a bit simplistic, but it's as simple as that. You know, so we've got the squad. I really believe in Brian's philosophy and how he wants to play the game, and it looks like the boys have too. So it's about it's about believing in what we're doing and being the best at our structures. And I think if we do that, we'll inshallah win more games than we lose.
One for Brian. In terms of rugby league, rugby union, or even sport in this country, does it get any bigger than this?
In terms of rugby league, rugby union, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's, you know, where rugby union is as a sport right now. I don't mind saying to you, I watched live the England All Blacks game. One of the best games of rugby. One of the best executed games, honestly. Yeah, it is true. I'm normally a funny man, I don't know why that's funny, but oh, you shaking his head, yes. One of the best versions of executed game plan and how the players went out and did it that I've seen for quite some time. So in terms of rugby, yeah, I think this is it doesn't get any bigger. In terms of sport, I don't know. I think that's for you to answer. I think this has gripped everybody's attention, whether you're involved in rugby or rugby league.
Sonny, Lloyd Burr here from News Hub in New Zealand. There's huge expectations on you, huge pressure, and you're being compared to the likes of LeBron James, even David Beckham. How do you cope with that pressure? Do you feel the pressure?
How you going, Lloyd? Good to see you again, brother. No, I think it's twofold. It's the way you look at it. Yes, I guess for myself, I don't believe that that he can compare me to these type of individuals, but that's his opinion, and he's allowed to his opinion, just like you're allowed to yours, and but you know, etc. But the way I look at it is, you know, me as a Muslim, as a man of faith, I bring that into my sporting journey, and everything is glass half full. Everything's glass half full. Yes, sometimes your I guess confidence drops, but then you realise that if you look at things glass half full, nothing's a failure. Everything is a learning experience. And okay, yeah, I could go into this thinking that this is a mountain too high to climb. I'm going to fail. But if I look at it just in that simplistic way of thinking that, man, what if we do succeed? You know, how amazing would that be? How amazing would it be if rugby league kicks off in North America? You know, there's a lot of people that would laugh at us, point at us, and laughing. But for me, I just think, well, we're out here being positive. We're striving to live our purpose the best way we can, and if we can do that, if we can succeed, it's going to open up avenues for young Polynesian boys, young English lads that could provide for themselves and their family in another country, in another place. So that's the way I look at it, brother.
How big do you think it could become in North America using your star power?
I think from all accounts, what I've heard is a lot of the Canadians, they don't really understand the game, but they're just there supporting, as Canadians, Americans do. So if we can be successful on the field, like Brian touched on, Toronto, the name Toronto has much more appeal than, no disrespect to say Featherston winning. So I think it's on us. That pressure is on us to succeed on the field, because if we can do that, it'll allow us in that other space to succeed as well.
Sonny, Malola, Daniel Faitar from TVNZ Sonny News. Firstly, congratulations. I want to ask you, we heard that the negotiations were happening during the World Cup. When you broke the news to Steve Hansen, what was his reaction, and when did you break the news to him?
Also, like I said, I can honestly say to you guys that my manager was speaking to these guys around that time, but for me, I said I don't want to hear anything about it, because I wouldn't have done myself, New Zealanders or the jersey, any justice in having that thinking about that way. So as soon as the England game finished, well, the next day I caught up with my manager, and then he filled me in. And you know, what a grateful and blessed opportunity it is. Now, I think it might have been that week on the training paddock. You know, Shags, as he does, comes up to you and, hey, you going, Bob, you know, is this news, you know, right? And yeah, I just told him, well, I haven't sat down as of yet with the coaches, but I'm talking to them. And you know, if all goes well, then it looks like it will all be coming to fruition. I'll be signing, and that was it. So, you know, I think you guys tend to build it up, because yeah, I know you guys got to have the clickbait and the big headlines and whatnot. But for myself, it's a pretty straightforward formula. For me, I'm a sportsman. I've got to be where my feet are. I've got to be, you know, be the best sportsman I can be today. Anything that I can push to the side, I will. But then when it's time to get it done, well, let's go, you know.
My next question is just to Brian. You talked about those negotiations at the World Cup. Was there a plan B? Were you looking at any other players aside from Sonny Bill if you couldn't get Sonny to sign on that document?
I don't think I'd call it a plan B, but you've got a group of blokes on your list that agents bandy about. You know, we ring up agents as well and say, is this guy available? When's his contract run out, and all those sort of things. So there's always on this. It wasn't as black and white as saying, we'll go for Sonny. If we don't get Sonny, let's go get. You know, we still continue to hunt up the best players in the world. What this has done is told everybody that this is doable. This can be done. You know, David Argyle's an extremely resourceful guy. So whether he's got the money in his back pocket or not is irrelevant. You know, we can fund these signings. So no, there wasn't a plan B. But as soon as Sonny's name came up as a real option, yeah, for sure.
But you are saying that there were other players that you were scouting?
Continue to be, yeah.
Could they have been All Blacks as well?
Yeah, no. I wouldn't, no, there was nobody else on the All Blacks.
I could name a few that would go alright.
Oh, go ahead, name them.
I think Offer would make a good prop, wouldn't he?
Thank you.
There'd be a few.
Sonny Marshall, League Express. Brian said that he thinks he'll get the best out of you in the final third of the season, but from round one there are going to be opponents looking to make a name for themselves by going up against you. When do you think we'll see you at your best?
Yeah, it's you know, it's great that I have that relationship with Brian, because we've been really transparent with what he's expecting from me on the field, and I've really enjoyed that. So, you know, the first 10 rounds, that's what I'll be trying to do. I'll be trying to fit in with the style that Toronto played. I'll be trying to earn your respect and fans' respect. And I just see that as just hard work, and you know, it comes with the territory of playing. Whatever sport I've played throughout the years, there's always been someone trying to come take me off. But you know, everyone needs to remember that in the jungle, there's those that contain that. You know, the hunter, there's those that contain. Hunter, yeah, that's the one. You know what I mean? So, I've always had that kind of mentality, that ethos that, alright, you know, I'm a physical player, but you know, it'll be nothing new.
You've had some great individual battles with various opponents over the years. How much are you looking forward to engaging with a completely new field of athletes and opening up some new rivalries with players?
Yeah, I'm really excited about that, brother. You know, I've been thinking about the challenge of Super League, and how I've really enjoyed my time playing over here, you know, in Union and in League throughout my career, and just really excited to firstly, you know, learn the structures and of how we're trying to play as Toronto players, but then also get out there and challenge with the best of what Super League have to offer. So it's exciting times.
And one for Brian. Sonny spoke a lot about buying into your beliefs and philosophy. As an athlete, what do you admire the most about Sonny Bill Williams and what he can do as a player?
What do I admire about him?
The most.
I don't think I'd use that word, admire.
That's fine. What word would you use?
Listen, the bloke's an athlete, and I can see how he'd fit into what we're trying to do. I think Sonny's challenge is not just getting used to Toronto, it's getting used to Super League. There's only one referee in the field. There's slightly different interpretations to rules, different format, the weather. 3 seasons, it's winter, it's summer for Wednesday afternoon in July, then it's winter again. So got to get used to that. When he's as good as he can be, I think he's going to offload the ball. I think he's going to get the ball away in some circumstances where people don't think he's going to do, which is one thing. And then what we do with the ball, that's our job. And we've been working on that since I came, about how we play from a bit of an offload and play from a bit of an extra pass, and don't simply rely on structure. What I'm not going to do is make this guy play to a system, a structured system that everybody else is playing to. And I mean that respectfully. You've got to play to a system for sure. You've got to have some structure to how you play, because defences are too good at the moment. Defences are too fit, and before you know it, they're on you. So you have to have an element of a skeleton of structures to create some doubt. Once you get a bit of a win, or once you get that bit of a free pass away, this is where I think this fella could enjoy himself. But I think that's going to take some time. I don't think that's going to happen in round 1. Now, he may disagree, he might want to do it round 1. Well, that's great, he can want to do that. My levels of expectancy on him are to fit into us first, and then let's see the rest of them.
Okay, last couple.
Sonny, good to see you. You mentioned you were thinking about staying in rugby prior to the World Cup. What was it exactly that changed your mind? Did you feel like you needed a new challenge, or?
Oh, I think I answered that question. Just the purpose of what these guys are trying to achieve on and off the field really hit home to me. And I understand throughout my career that I've gotten the best out of myself when I've really believed in the purpose that the organisation's trying to achieve. And then, so it was as simple as that. And like I said, after that England game, obviously before it, there was a lot of media attention about what was happening. But I honestly was just trying to be the best All Black I could be every day. And then as soon as we lost unfortunately to England, one of the best games. I sat down and spoke with my manager, and then I pretty much spoke with the owner. I really got some awesome vibes of what he was trying to do, because I always believe that there always has to be some element of, charity, or trying to live for someone else, or live for something else throughout your purpose. And when I heard what he was trying to achieve, I just seen the doors could be open for the younger players coming through. Like I said, in the English lads, or whether it be Pacific Maori boys or Kiwi boys back home, I just seen that avenue. So, and then a couple of days later, I sat down, spoke with Brian. It all kind of just fitted, bro. So, that's how it all kind of came to fruition, bro.
I know you're a devout family man, and this challenge, can you just talk about how challenging that'll be in terms of splitting your time between Toronto and England? I guess that's pretty unique in itself, and moving to the other side of the world.
Yeah, it is. But you have that glass half full mentality, and it's exciting. Sometimes I've got to harp on that way of thinking to my wife a bit more than often, but we're going to have 4 young kids. God willing, the 4th one that's on his way will be healthy as well. But so she won't come until the end of April, I think it was start of April. So I'll have a lot of time to be here, connect with the boys. And then when they come over, a few of the boys have young kids, have young families. So, I guess the road has already been walked in that respect. So that shouldn't be a challenge.
Any other questions before we move on to broadcast one-on-ones?
Hi, Sonny. Yeah. Can I just ask you, you were talking about your faith earlier. How important is that, and how much has that guided your decision to join Toronto Wolfpack?
Yeah, it's the reason I am why I am throughout my career. You know, at a young age, I was successful. You know, I had wealth, I had fame, I had eyes of the opposite sex on me, and then I guess where I was from, how I grew up, that was classed as successful, but I always felt hollow. I never felt like I was whole, and I was always yearning for something, and that's what Islam has given me, you know. And the beautiful thing about that is it allowed me to, it's kind of turned this, I guess, wild streak that I've had, you know, that I have in me, and not just pacified it, it's turned it on its axis, and it's allowed me to push it through to strive and be vulnerable and put myself out there and try and get the best out of myself and be the best man and sportsman, and, you know, et cetera, and this challenge is just that, you know, I have to be vulnerable, and being a sportsman, what better challenge do you want, you know? So all of those things combined, yes, that's, I don't know if I answered your question, but I tried to.
Yeah, I remember seeing you for Canterbury Bulldogs in the World Cup Challenge 2005. You must have been 20 years old. Did you ever think that you were playing Super League one day?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Probably not. But did I ever think at that time that I would be an All Black? Probably not. Did I ever think at that time would I do boxing? Probably not. But you know, the blessings are enormous, and you know, I've got three beautiful kids, a loving wife, and we're just excited about this journey together over here.
And just finally, that conversation you had with Brian when he came to see you, what specifically did he say to convince you to join the Wolfpack?
He said he's a well-equipped boxer, so he's going to get me in the ring. And just firstly his, I guess, philosophy on footy. I love what he was saying, because, you know, no disrespect to rugby league, but sometimes it can be really monogamous, you know, and you watch it, you know where they're going, you know where they're going to set up. So, not delving too much into that, I really believed in that. I really enjoyed, I guess, the way that he spoke about his team, that, you know, what they're trying to achieve, and then, that was probably the main things that I really connected with. I left that meeting thinking I can, not only am I excited about, you know, going and playing there, but I'm excited about their purpose and what they're trying to achieve as a team, you know. So.
Thank you. So we'll head over, we'll do some broadcast interviews now, and then we'll have a press hub after that.